Our boy Nasa learns the appeal of cuddling in this week's episode, as well as taking photos and being able to look back on those good memories and just never forget them, even as memories may slip throughout your older age. This show continues to be so amazing. I'm going to say right now, I think this may be the most wholesome and most sweet and most adorable rom-com I have ever seen. I've seen my fair few. This show melts me and just is everything I love about relationships, and it's just so wholesomely adorable. They're very inexperienced. I mean, you can look at how they hold each other's hands. Tsukasa's very unnatural with how she holds our boy's hand. He's given it a nice firm grip, but something of loving. She's kind of just there, kind of just going with the flow. There's, of course, the whole sleeping dilemma and the fact that they don't really have the right apartment size. There's a lot of things that is inexperienced about them. The fact that, him just accidentally seeing his wife naked makes him flustered. The fact that, when they're cuddling, he gets overly embarrassed, and if he happens to touch her breast, then that's like sending him to heaven, but then also embarrassmentville with population him. It just is something that is very inexperienced, but the core themes and ideas behind their actions is the perfect marriage. It's something that's amazing, it's something that's sweet, it's something that's innocent, and goddamn, I love how much we've seen already in such a short amount of time, and the fact that it puts so many other rom-coms just such in a bad spotlight, where you're usually kind of excusing it because you're not going to get something that leads to that great of territory, especially if it's only going to be one season, and then this anime comes in, kicks the door down in the most wholesome way, and says, no, this is what you want to see in a rom-com that's more focused on the sweet side rather than just the comedic side. The comedy is there, and I do think the comedy is funny, but it almost feels like just an added little element. The core idea about the show is the wholesome growing relationship about two newlyweds and what they're going to do. And then you even get to tie into the whole meeting the family, which I wasn't even thinking about, but now I'm really eagerly anticipating because it seems like Nasa's mom is honestly kind of amazing, and I love how she's just as she can dissect things in a very similar way to that of her son. The camera situation was amazing. I love how it is weird though, because in this episode, Nasa does mention when they're on the bus that he has a phone apparently. I mean, or at least, you could use your smartphone. So I'm kind of curious why she needed a actual camera when the photos she wants to take, she could easily do with a smartphone. She had a smartphone. She could also call her boy on his breaks. They're definitely not doing things in the most right way, especially considering what they want to do and how they're limiting themselves. We need a dedicated camera to take pictures. When honestly, with what they want to do, yes, dedicated cameras have better qualities and things like that. But for what she wants to do, what they both want to do, get a smartphone, my guys. You can say it may be a little bit more money, but I mean, it doesn't seem like they're buying the most extravagant camera. But that's kind of what you love about these goofballs. They don't make the best decisions, but it always ends up being wholesome no matter what angle you look at it. I love how just enthralled he was by taking pictures. He got such a rush that you would think this was better than porn to him, and I like that because it goes to show just how good and how great the relationship is. And she only takes a single photo just so she can remember the day, and it makes him embarrassed, where he's willing to take a billion pictures and is already planning on upgrading the memory card from 64 gigabytes. And if you know anything about photo sizes, that kind of goes to show that if he's already considering upgrading his memory card, he's taken a lot of photos. It's just great to see that, and then just the intro and just how, she's such a sleepwalker, and I love that. I love how she actually came back into the bed and, snuggled his hand, and he's trying to figure out what to do. She wakes up, he's embarrassed, oh shit, I'm gonna be in trouble, and she just kisses him, because that's normal. It's what's supposed to happen with newlywed life and just wife and husbands in general, just partnership, right? It's so great, and I love the dynamic between, you have obviously just Jose and the maids trying to stop the so-called marriage, where the maids are really you're kind of evil if you want to stop this wholesome shenanigans, where you also have Nasa's friend who's always I really like her perspective, because in any other rom-com, she would be the character saying, no, don't move to a bigger apartment, don't move to a bigger location, because then you won't come to visit me at the spa because I kind of like you. That's what you typically expect. She's a character, literally, without a bat. It's more figuratively, but I think it could be literal if he ever does crosses the line. She's hitting him over the head with a bat of knowledge, saying, no, get a better place. Stop doing dumb things. Your wife deserves a better life, and she wants a better life. She's just too nice to you. And it's so great, because even though she's not technically right, I really do believe Tsukasa is happy where she is. She does have good arguments, and it would make their life a lot better. But of course, you do get the sweet moments with our girl saying, if it was bigger, I wouldn't be as close to you. And that's really sweet. That's really wholesome. But even if you have a bigger location, it doesn't mean you can't always be in the same room and things like that, especially if he's not at work and other aspects of his adult life. It's really great to see those moments and just see how far the relationship truly has come and how much further it still is left to go. The parents, I think, is going to be the best part of this season, if I'm going to be honest. It's just a random prediction, but I feel like the idea of like announcing, hey, you never knew I had a girlfriend, let alone someone I was interested in marrying, to his friends. Now his family has to be like, how did this happen? And I like how he explained her back when he was a kid that was the most beautiful person who saved his life. They probably thought he was full of shit, and now he's going to bring home a goddess from probably everyone's point of view. And it's going to be fun to see how they can handle that, because if they are actually mean, I would be shocked, because it seems more like they're kind of sassy and they're kind of like throwing it in his face and countering him with logic. So I think it's going to be a great dynamic. I'm glad they did introduce them in this episode. We just pretty much almost reached the destination, because I think when I meet them, I'm going to want at least 20 more minutes to form an opinion on these insane characters, especially because I don't think Nas is overreacting. If he's saying someone's a little hard to handle, they probably are. I don't feel like he's a liar or a manipulative person or someone who misreads situations all that much outside of relationships that he's a part of. In terms of the family and friends, I think for the most part, he knows what they're doing. You can argue, well, he had that one childhood friend who actually did like him, he didn't notice that. So in terms of love, he's oblivious, but in terms of normal adult life, I think he is pretty solid, even if he is a little clueless. I think the age does go hand in hand, and his inexperience and things like that. But I like this episode a whole lot. I would actually argue this is my personal favorite Over the Moon episode, and I know they almost always get better week by week or every other week, but there was something really special and wholesome about this episode that had me rolling. The number of times both characters got equally embarrassed. They are so sweet and innocent and so clueless, and I love them for that. They are the sweetest of goofballs, and you just know it's only getting started. This show is going to give us diabetes before we're even at episode 9, I'm feeling like. It's a show that overloads you with sweetness, but you never feel like you can't eat more. It keeps shoveling ice cream down your gullet, and you just keep wanting the next batch. It shows you just how great the show is. It's just so innocent. It's so pure. The character designs are adorable. And the number of times you see them equally both get embarrassed, it's just, you feel like this is a relationship that's going to work out. And that's a great feeling for a rom-com, because generally it feels like we're more focused on the drama aspect or just ridiculous comedy. We don't really get that middle ground all too often. But this is a harmony of comedy and romance. No drama. The drama that's there, you're either laughing at it or think it's a little just silly and it becomes adorable. It's just amazing to see what this show has become, and I'm so glad I decided to give this a watch, because it's one of my personal favorites of not even the season, of 2020 overall. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. Where do you think the meeting with the parents is going to go, and what was your personal favorite moment in this episode? For me, it had to be the pictures by the lake there. It was just such a funny and great moment. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like to show your support and hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.